creators, and welcome to my YouTube channel. So, do you think I did it? Did I smash these 6 paper packs? Back on July 5th, I think it was, I shared a video on which paper packs I plan to smash because I am playing along with the Christmas in July paper stash smash. So, let's see if I managed to do it. So I had chosen 3 6x6 paper packs, the not too shabby a Woodland Christmas, Recollections Christmas, and Doodlebug's Night Before Christmas. I also chose 3 12x12 collections. So I chose this Cartabella Christmas collection, the Craft Smart Evergreen Cabin paper pad from Michaels, as well as the Silent Night paper pack. It's a Recollections paper pack. So let's start with our 6x6 papers. So I did smash it. There's no extras of this one. This is the Night Before Christmas. And let me show you what I made. Now this pad had 14 full sheets of 6x6 paper, and I decided to make these little gift card holders. So I did make 6 of these, and so the gift card will go in this slot here. I should have gotten a gift card to show you, but it goes in this slot. And I'm still going to add another piece of cardstock here so that I can put to, from, and then kind of write a little message. But I did want to show you what I did. Now, one of those, or actually 2 perhaps, of the sheets of paper were these tags. And I was like, what am I going to do with these tags? Because the front side is this part of the tag and the back side is this. So you can't really use the B side like you can on some other sheets that might have tags in the front. So I decided when I was planning what to make that I would make these little gift card holders. And I got this idea, I believe, from Yvette of Party Planner Papery, and I'll be sure to link to her channel. But those are the 6 I made, and there's also pattern paper on the back. So I was able to use up the 14 sheets by making these 6. Then I had enough to make 1 card, an A2 card, and then I still had some of these little tags left over. So I decided to make these. These are going to be gift tags for Christmas in my house. So I made 5 of these. And this die that I used is a Spellbinders die. It's this 3D emboss and cut folder. So you can emboss and die cut this little rectangle frame or an arched one. But that's what I used for that. So this one had 14 full sheets. I made 6 gift card holders, and I made those on the 11th. 1 card and 5 gift tags. And these 2 other parts I made on the 12th of July. So that's from that paper pad. Then our next paper pad is the Recollections Christmas one. And let me grab what I made for that. So I made 5 of these mini composition books. I made 11 of these mini sticky holders. And I got to tell you a story about these. So I made 11 of those. And then I made 11 of these sticky note clipboards. So it's a little clipboard to hold your 3x3 sticky notes. And these, the idea I also got from Carolina's Crafts. So thank you so much, Carolina. So I made, let me show you these. I did wrap them with some cardstock, and then just went through and added pattern paper. and some I kind of pieced together like she did. And I'll link to the goodies I used, so the post-it notes, the little clips for my clipboard, the chipboard I used, all the goodies. Anything that I can find a link for, I will add to the description box, friends. So these are the little clipboards I made. I love the way they turned out. You know, I always tell myself I'm going to put together some goodies to do a Christmas craft fair. And I never have the time. I never do it. But this time, I'm going to have at least a few goodies to share or to take to the Christmas craft fair. So I'm excited to do that. Now then, the little mini composition books, again, followed her little tutorial, made these. So there's 5. I love these. I'm going to make more, definitely. Oh, and here, there was one full sheet that had like the whole snowman face. So I did some creative cutting and cut out the part with the little smile and nose, and I used that for a pocket. So I try and like make the best use of my papers. And it had like these little cut aparts in those papers as well. So I used those as the covers. Now, my little mini notepad holders. Isn't that cute? So I was putting these together, and I followed her link for the magnets that I was using. This one got stuck. Let me try and undo that. Oh, in any case, I was putting my magnets on, and for some reason they were just like too big. They looked too big, and I couldn't figure out why. Because I ordered the same size that Carolina uses, and I was just like, something's off. Why are they so big? Did I order the wrong magnets? Well, no, friends. I ordered the right magnets. It turns out the company sent me the wrong size. They had it in the packaging for the size I needed, but they put the wrong magnets in there. So I was supposed to get, let me show you. These itty bitty magnets. These would have been the right size, but I may do, you know, no big deal. And after I finished them, I was like, nope, something's wrong. What is wrong? Why do mine look so big compared to Carolina's? So I saw that they were wrong. I measured them. They were the wrong size in the right packaging for the ones I ordered, but they put the wrong size in there. So I emailed the company and let them know what had happened. They were so good. They responded right away and let me know, you know, we apologize for the inconvenience. We will send you the correct magnets. Go ahead and keep the ones we sent you. So they did send me the correct ones. So I'll use these on the next batch of little note card holders that I make. But really good customer service. So just to recap on this one, I had 21 full sheets. I smashed this on the 8th of July. I worked really hard that day, and I made 11 of those mini sticky note holders, 11 of the little note clipboards, and 5 of the mini composition books. Really glad I got those done. Then a Woodland Christmas from Not Too Shabby. Let me show you those. So with that, I made 27 cards, and I did this yesterday because I was rushing yesterday. I thought I've got to smash through all of these. I can't record my video and not have smashed every single paper pack that was my goal. So I made 27 cards, and I used the July 2026 sheet load of card sketch. I'll link to that as well. But look, I used all the paper. Did I have any paper left? Let me look. Oh yes, for this one, I had a very small scrap left of the pattern paper. And then I used up all the ephemera. It's all used up. I made all these cards. Let me kind of flip through them real quickly. so you can see. And then I did add between the two sheets of pattern paper some Love from Lizzie peel-offs. I just thought that helped tie those two pieces of pattern paper together. And I used all the ephemera. Now I didn't put a sentiment on these, and that's fine because I'll be putting a sentiment on the inside because these are going to go towards my annual Christmas card donation stash, which thank goodness I smashed these papers because now I'm closer to my goal of 500 cards. But just loving them all. Aren't these ephemera just so cute? And then I'll link again to Not Too Shabby if this is still available. I'm not sure if it is, but I'll link to the Not Too Shabby shop. So there are my 27 cards. So to recap on that one, this is the Woodland Christmas paper pack and coordinating ephemera. And there were 17 full sheets. I made 27 cards using the July 2026 sheet load, and I did this yesterday on the 30th of July. So those were the 3 6x6 pads. Now here's the first 12x12 pack I used, and this was Silent Night from Recollections. And for that one, there were 29 sheets of pattern paper. And friends, I got 100 cards. 100 cards made. So what I did for these, now I'm not going to flip through all 100, but for what I did for these was follow Just Crafts 12x12 template number 8, and I made my own little ephemera or sentiment here, and so I did that in my Cricut, and that way I was able to cut this out and then a matte layer as well out of that silver foil cardstock. So I'm telling you, a ton of them, a ton, also very different. Now that paper pack did have some tags as part of the papers and some like larger print. For example, this one was like a full sheet where the bottom half was these Christmas trees and the top half was just like a pink. So I was able to use these as the background layer. And then for the tag ones that I couldn't really use as a background layer, I use those as a cardstock behind the sentiment and behind the edges of this piece, because if I don't add some extra cardstock underneath, you'll kind of see a dip. So I use those as my foam tape to say, you know, or my layer underneath to bring these up level. So 100 cards, friends. So again, here's a recap. This is the Silent Night paper pack from Recollections. This one is from 2021, so I've had it for a while. So 29 sheets of this, 100 cards. Again, I did this yesterday. I was racing. I started it probably last week and have been working on it a little bit at a time, but I finished them yesterday. And then my next 12x12 is also from Michaels. It's the Craft Smart Evergreen Cabin paper pad. And I followed the same sketch, the Recollection, the, sorry, Just Crafts 12x12 sketch number 8. And then for this paper pack, I had 26 full sheets and made these. Again, these I made, this was a tag in there, but these I made myself in my Cricut. There were some tags, for example, this one that I used. But the others, for example, I made this one, it's Merry Christmas. This one says Joyful. This one, another Merry Christmas with that little truck. I even did some Spanish ones that say Feliz Navidad. I think those were the 4 designs I made in my Cricut again. So what I did was I have a video on how I make my own ephemera. I'll link to that video. But I love the way they came out. Again, this one I used that Just Crafts template number 8, but instead of putting this 2-piece or 2-inch piece in the center like it calls for on the template, I kind of shifted it over to one side just for it to look a little bit different. And then here, this piece, this rectangle piece here, I shifted over, and then I put the arched piece there. So this one, I made 103 cards, friends. So I've got, I mean, a good chunk of my Christmas card donation ready to go. I still have to add a little sentiment to the inside of these, but I can get that done with the help of my grandkids. And that one, no scraps, friends, nothing left. So then the last paper pack was this Christmas from Cartabella. For this one, I did have the sticker sheet left, but I'm gonna use up a bunch of these stickers in some of my cards and any place else I can use them. So that won't go to waste. But this one had 11 full sheets in it, and guess what I did? I followed, again, Carolina's Crafts, her little tutorial, and made these little mini cinch notebooks. Now, I gotta tell you, I was fighting with my little cinch wires because my granddaughter, the one that's 2, got into the drawer where I store them and took them all out and was playing with them, so they were a tangled up mess. It took me hours to untangle them. So note to self, don't leave these within her reach. And I don't scold my grandchildren when they come in my craft room and get things. You know, they're playing, they're having fun. So she's 2. What she was doing was nothing malicious. She was just playing. And I thought it was hilarious, but I did untangle them all. I did use up some of my different colored ones. So I used red on some and black on some of my little notebooks. But I did add some vellum. Here's that snowflake vellum I have from Michael's as well. And just used, one of the pages was a bunch of tags. So I actually used those as tags. So cute. Added some pockets. I did add a couple of scraps of pattern paper from another paper pad so that I could get pockets and other things in here. But I love the way they turned out. These again will be used for my little craft fair stash for this year. But I'm loving the way they turned out. So 12. Just to recap, I had for the Christmas collection 11 full sheets, 12 cinch notebooks that I finished on the 12th of July. Oh my goodness, friends, I forgot. I actually had another 12 by 12 collection. This was off to the side. This was the Wise Men Still Seek Him collection, and I don't have anything left. This is, I just kept this so I could have this. I had 8 full sheets. I finished this project on the 6th of July, and I just kind of threw these together. And so I made, let's see, I didn't count these, 36 cards. And so I used the cut aparts that were in there, the 3x4 cut aparts. I used the 4x4 cut aparts, just a nice variety. And I love the way these turned out, friends. They're just so pretty. And really, this is the reason for the season. So I like to have some of these cards in my donation stash as well. So look how pretty they turned out. So these were all the 4x4. I'm trying to think back. Did I actually use a sketch? Maybe not. I might have just thrown these together. Yeah, I just threw these together. I did not use a sketch for these. Sorry about that. But look how pretty they are. They all turned out so pretty. So 36 cards using this collection as well. So pretty. So that means I used up 4 12 by 12 collections and 3 6 by 6 collections. So I think that was what I actually had in my video. I'll have to go back and look. But the pile I had of collections I was going to use is finished. I'm done. All my cards and all my projects have been completed. So I did it, friends. I finished 4 12 by 12 collections and 3 6 by 6 collections. I'm so proud of myself and so surprised that I managed to finish it. But like I mentioned before, for me, once I've put something out that I'm going to do it, it's like a challenge to myself, and I have to do it because I have to hold myself accountable for something I have said I will do. So that's what I did, and I'm so glad I played along this month. It was a blast. So thank you to all the Paper Stash Smashers on YouTube. I appreciate you. And thank you, my friends, for sticking around to the end. I'd appreciate it if you subscribe to my YouTube channel or follow me on any of my other social media platforms. As always, have a beautiful, safe, and creative day. Thanks for watching. Bye.